Welcome to my channel. I am Dr. Shabaz here. In today's video, we are going to perform two-way ANOVA in SPSS. I will use a ready-made dataset, run it in SPSS, explain what each table means, and show you exactly how to report the two-way ANOVA results. So don't worry if ANOVA sound difficult. By the end of this video, you will be able to understand the main effects, the interactional effect, and the correct interpretation of the results. So we have dataset of 60 students with learning method traditional and interactive. On the other hand, we see study time with low, medium, and high, and their exam score. So it means we have learning method and study time are independent variables, and we are going to see the impact of learning method and study time on exam score. So to learn this data and procedure and the assumptions to perform two-way ANOVA, we need to see the PowerPoint presentation. Okay, so two-way ANOVA in SPSS. Okay, we just divide the data and you can see here what is two-way ANOVA. One outcome, two factors, three possible stories. For example, dependent variable is exam score. Main effect is do methods differ overall? So it means the training method significantly impact exam score or not. So it means do methods differ overall or not. And factor is this is independent variable, this is dependent variable, and this one independent, and also this one independent variable. So we categorize as factor A and factor B. Training method, main fact B, does study time matter overall to obtain the exam score? On the other hand, study time. So it means study time also matters to get the exam score or not. So it means we have three questions. First question, do methods differ overall? And factor A as independent. Training method matter to obtain the exam score. On the other hand, study time matters to obtain the exam score. Okay, so dataset story for the tutorial. Scenario, which learning plan produces better exam score? Whether there is traditional method or interactive method. And study time with low, medium or high. Okay, so we perform and we develop the research questions and hypotheses. So we discuss the hypothesis here like training method has a significant impact on exam score. So we will test this research hypothesis 1, and we will also test the hypothesis 2 as study time has a significant impact on exam score. And hypothesis 3 is the training method and study time have a significant interactional effect on exam score. So basically this is an interaction of study time and training method. So hypothesis 3 is about the interactional impact on exam score. So now we will go back to our SPSS file and we will perform the analysis carefully. Okay, so we can see data here and we have already coded the data. Like you can see traditional method 1 equal to and interactive equal to 2. And study time we coded data 1 equal to low, 2 equal to medium, and 3 equal to high. Okay, now we will click on analyze and then go to general, linear model and univariate. And then we will put, because this is our exam score dependent variable, so we will put in the dependent variable, and both other variable as nominal variable as are independent variable, and we put under fixed factors. So now we will click on plots because we need plot, and we based on learning method and study time we will examine the exam score. So first we need horizontal axis, then add. Also need study time and then add. Now we create the interactional impact like learning method on a horizontal axis and study time on separate lines, and then click on add. This is basically an interaction, and click on continue. Now we will use the post hoc test like we use in ANOVA. So basically this is true ANOVA, so we also use post hoc test. Okay, so we are using post hoc test for learning method, whether there is traditional or learning method, interactive method to obtain exam score. So we used post hoc test for learning method, traditional and interactive. So there are two categories as I defined, traditional and interactive. So we will choose the post hoc as REGWQ because we also use Tucky post hoc test, but our cases are only two like interactive and traditional. So in case of both two cases, we will use REGWQ post hoc test. So if we have three or more than three categories, then we will use Tucky test. So we have only two learning method, traditional and interactive. So we are going to use REGWQ. Then we will click on continue. Now we will go to options. So we need the means for overall mean, learning method mean, study time mean, and interaction of study time and learning method. Also we need to compare main facts using the Bonferroni method. Then we also need descriptive statistics, estimates of the effect size, and homogeneity test. Then we will click on continue. So we have selected all the required analysis. Now we'll click on OK. So we get the results in SPSS out. Okay, so first of all, you can see the between subjects factors. So learning method according to interactive and traditional, study time, high, low, and median as we coded the data. Okay, we see the descriptive statistics, and you can see in interactive learning method, the study time is high, low, and medium. So there is a high mean value in case of high study time in interactive method as compared to traditional method. So we can simply infer the finding that there is high study time the students consume in interactive learning instead of traditional. You can see the mean value 90.80 and in a traditional method there is 77.20. Okay, so next one is the Levene test of equality of error variances, and you can see the F value is 0.878 and the value is not significant because the value is higher than 0.05. So in this case, the null hypothesis is accepted. So what is null hypothesis? Test the null hypothesis is that the error variance of the dependent variable is equal across groups. So it means null hypothesis is accepted based on the significant level p-value is greater than 0.05. So it means the dependent variable variance is equal across all groups. Okay, so next one is test of between subject effects. So in this case, because we are going to test the hypothesis, so we will see what is the impact of learning method. This one. What is the effect of learning method on exam score? And you can see here the type P sum of squares, and this the effect is significant because the P value is less than 0.05. So we accept the H1. As you can see the presentation, because we propose the research hypothesis that training method has a significant impact on exam score. So we tested the hypothesis and we found that the impact is significant. It means learning method significantly impact exam score. On the other hand, H2 Study time also significantly impact exam score because exam score are a dependent variable. So the value of P is also lower than 0.05. So our H2 also accepted. Okay, now we come to H3, which is interactional effect. So we can see learning method with interaction to study time have also a significant impact on exam score, as because the p value is 0.00, which is less than 0.05. So our H3 was also accepted. Okay, now we come to, because these are the main findings, now we come to the grand mean, and you can see the grand mean of exam score is 73.417 standard error, and lower bound and upper bound there is a minor difference between lower and upper. Okay, now we see separately as learning method. You can see the interactive method has higher mean than the traditional method. Okay, when we see the pairwise comparison, we see the interactive method to traditional and traditional to interactive both are significant, as we already discussed in the test of between subjects effects, because all three hypotheses were accepted. Okay, so now we can see the univariate test. The test is also significant because there is a variance, there is a strong variance explained by study time and learning method to exam score, because there is partial square, there was 64.1% of variance explained by learning method and study time in exam score. On the other hand, when we see the study time, so we found that there is a high mean in higher study time as compared to low and medium. So this is pairwise comparison as defined by post-hoc test. So you can see there is a significant difference of exam score between high and low study time. You can see significant. There is also a significant difference of exam score between high and medium. As well, you can see low and high, low and medium, medium and high, and medium and low. So all relationship are significant. Okay, we come to next table, univariate test. So we can also found that the p-value is significant because the value is less than 0.05, and the study time, because we discussed here study time, yes. So study time explained 87.3% variance in exam score. Learning methods versus study time. So this is interaction impact. So you can see the interactive learning method with high, low, and medium. So we'll say there is a significant difference in exam score among interactive learning method and student or study time. As well, traditional learning method among high, low, and medium study time. And we can see the profile plots. You can see the learning method. There is a high mean score in interactive method than the traditional method. On the other hand, you can see there is a high exam score in high study time than the medium, and medium is study time in then low study time. On the other hand, you can see the learning method in case of high, you can see there is a high exam score in interactive learning than traditional. So in this way, we can test the two-way ANOVA in SPSS. If you find my video helpful, please subscribe to my channel and click on bell icon so you can get my next video.